Border Gavasker Trophy 2013 just wrapped up with the player of the series Ravichandra Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja. With us, we have Sanket Vora and Bhavik Mehta as always, and welcome to yet another episode of our podcast Behind the Wickets. So, with the two Ravis inside, do anyone else have any chance of winning player of the series when we play in India?
Absolutely not. They are ruling the Indian subcontinent pitches when it comes to test matches, the red ball cricket, and uh, any test you play with Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja bowling in tandem, you are sure to win the series. We did lose one. We did lose the match. We did draw a match, but at the end, the series was comfortably won.
And India continued their dominance in the Border Gavasker Trophy for the I would say for the entire decade, except for one 14-15 loss in Australia. Post 2011-12, India has won five out of 66 Border Gavasker trophies and four on
Yes.
the trot,
Four on the trot, absolutely. Yes.
and all 2-1. Ironically, all last
All
four
two one.
series have had been 2-1.
Yeah, so we cannot say that it
So
was totally a dominance, but we lost one, we came back, and eventually we made it. The series was won by India.
maybe if Shreyas Iyer was fit, maybe the strategy would have been different. Maybe we could have been more aggressive on day four in the last test. What's your take on that?
I somehow feel that the pitch that was uh, placed for the fourth test, I would say it wasn't a result-oriented pitch.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Uh, whatever strategy we would have adopted, aggressiveness or anything, um, you see, on the fifth day as well, we could only take 2 wickets.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I mean, you can see that it wasn't that easy to take wickets. It was a flat road uh, in terms
yeah.
of, we compare pitches with Pakistan. And I would say Narendra Modi Stadium, the pitch was similar to that. But I would say uh, it basically not only gave confidence to the Indian batters, which was very much needed, because all the three matches prior to that, all the batters, not only Australian, even Indian batters struggled owing to the turners that we produced. And this was quite a necessity for the batters to come back to form. And um, we were talking, we actually discussed this prior to the series that Virat Kohli, would he raise his bat this time? We expected in the first test. We said no, now it will be in Firozshah Kotla. Then it went to Indore. But finally, Virat Kohli, with all his patience and concentration and everything, uh, yes, he managed to score that magical 75th century.
Yeah, and it was a
After
big 100.
Actually, yeah,
Just
a
yeah.
big daddy 100, as they say. And just as he scored that 70, 75th century, Shastri on air said that 600 kg gorilla off his back. And
Yep,
it
yep,
wasn't
yep.
only his back, but all the cricketing fans were waiting eagerly for this man to score big, come back to his usual self. Something what VK is known for, scoring centuries at will. I mean, we all hope and wish that the long wait of centuries is now over and he keeps scoring
Yep,
centuries at the
yep,
same rate as he
yep,
used to.
yep.
And so, did the third test was I mean I keep wondering this. Was the pitch of fourth test a result of what happened in the third test? We just wanted to play safe and make sure we don't go down 2-all instead of keeping the series with us 2-1.
Bhumit, I feel that there was one more thing that was associated with this was Sri Lanka New Zealand series also started on the same dates. And result of that series would have also mattered whether we reach the finals, or uh, if at all Sri Lanka would have managed to win two tests in New Zealand. See, which would have been a very difficult task in any case. But had that happened, we would have lost the place in finals. Right. And
Right.
till the fourth or the fifth day, if at all I remember, the test was the Sri Lanka New Zealand test. The first test was pretty much in balance. And had they won it, we would have, and had we lost it in Ahmedabad, we would have waited for the second test of New Zealand Sri Lanka to give the result, and whether we'll be going to the finals or not. So I would say, not only did we actually ensure that a, a, a drawn test match gave us an assurity to play the finals. At the same time, as I said earlier, our batters came back to form. Not only Virat Kohli, Shubman Gill scored a brilliant century. Even KS Bharat was in form. He struggled the first three tests and was looked out of form completely. And we all started questioning whether he belongs to this test fold or not. But uh, we all saw that how he scored a brisk 44 and actually gave us some good hopes, good chances.
Yeah. I'd like to throw another angle to this. I mean, to be fair, slightly to the curator, and not only Ahmedabad, everywhere. I mean, let's say on fourth day, the weather was not as it was expected otherwise. It got cloudy, and the sun wasn't really beating down as it would have been otherwise anticipated. So, when a curator is probably asked to made a pitch which is not as spin friendly as it was, and they were trying to see that it gets crumbled from day 4 or 5, which didn't happen partly because of the weather reasons also. I mean, I don't know we are not experts, but just from the looks of it, because the sun wasn't really beating down as it would otherwise, would that also have played a part in the pitch not breaking down as it would otherwise?
Uh, Quite possible, because on the fourth and fifth day there was overcast conditions, and
Yeah.
it could have rained. That was the forecast, and
Yes,
probably
absolutely.
that was. I mean, in India, the pitches should start breaking from say third or fourth day.
Yeah.
But uh, I mean, see, Australia scored 480 on the first 2 days, and
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, after the first 2 days, the only team that could have won the test match would have been Australia, right? And
uh, I wouldn't agree to that, but carry
Yeah,
on.
debatable, but yeah.
at 480, you cannot lose a match. See, right?
Well, we
You're
have seen that
scoring
They came back
happening.
480.
when they were scored 530 also.
We
I
have seen
understand
we
there
have
are
seen that
exceptions.
happening.
There are exceptions. But come fourth day, at the end of fourth day, it would have been only Australia who could have lost the match,
Correct.
right?
Exactly.
So the uh, scenario so changed that the first 2 days, Australia was the only team who could have won, and
Yeah, yeah.
at end of the fourth day, Australia was the only team who could have lost. So,
And
uh,
and and such funny things happen in. I mean, if you remember the last test between India and England, India dominated the first 2 days,
yes,
scored some 400 plus, bowled out England for 280 odd, and we were dominating, and we were cruising at 100 and something for three on day three. But then there was a collapse, and they chased down 380 quite comfortably
thanks to
with the bars
Bairstow
ball.
and Joe Root. Yeah,
Absolutely.
there is also a very curious case of Akshar Patel, whom we discussed at the start of our Border Gavasker Trophy, that would he be replaced by Ravindra Jadeja, or would he hold his place? See, coming into the series, Akshar was 8 tests old, 47 wickets under his belt, around 200 runs under his kitty. after the series, of the 4 tests, 3 were turners, right? But Akshar could only manage 3 wickets. But what's
Yeah,
surprising is he scored close to 300 runs, second
yeah,
highest for India, and third overall, behind Virat
yep.
Kohli and Usman Khwaja. I mean, what would you take of that? Akshar Patel could not perform with Bowl, and he was actually expected to take some crucial wickets. And looking at his form in the Indian subcontinent, I would say um, uh, he actually could have done much better.
Yeah, definitely. And I expected him to pick wickets. Forget the runs that he gave us. I never expected that from him, but at least I expected him to pick wickets, considering they were all turners. And he did say in one of his interview with Jadeja that आप लोग कब मुझे मौका दोगे bowling करने का. And funny, that was funny, but I think he was getting enough overs, maybe at least minimum in double digits in every match. And that should have been enough for him to pick at least one wicket where the pitch was doing so much and Indian bowlers were dominating so much.
I wouldn't agree to that. I think it's not fair when you look at the end scorecard when he's bowled 12, 15, 20 overs. Because I mean, again, we are not cricket experts. We are fans, but just from whatever little we have heard from the experts in commentary and from whatever we have seen, I think spinners would require longer spells to get into the rhythm. And when you have Jadeja and Ashwin prominently bowling the majority of the overs, he's only coming in to fill up the gaps. And that also plays a big part in him taking wickets as opposed to what he would have otherwise took. But on the flip side, how about playing Akshar as a specialist batsman?
I don't know.
Absolutely,
I didn't
yeah.
even like the move where Jadeja was sent up the order. I mean, see, I don't know how difficult it might be, but when they play at number 6, 7, 8, there are certain conditions that they get used to. And then those change when they come up the order because we know top three usually don't play that long for India. 4 test is an exception where it was a flat deck. But the conditions are certainly very different from what it is at number 6 or 7 where they usually bat. And that is what we saw. Jadeja was playing very well in first 2 matches down the order, and as soon as we promoted him, he wasn't looking the same. He didn't
Yeah, it's
score
been,
a big,
yeah,
big, big run. So I don't know if
yeah.
these utility players they prefer batting down the order. Maybe it's because of situation or whatever, but they look more comfortable at their original position.
But on the flip side, how about playing Akshar as a specialist batsman?
I don't know.
Absolutely,
I didn't
yeah.
even like the move where Jadeja was sent up the order. I mean, see, I don't know how difficult it might be, but when they play at number 6, 7, 8, there are certain conditions that they get used to. And then those change when they come up the order because we know top three usually.
Now, Ashwin and Jadeja probably in their last stages of the career, I would say. Jadeja is almost 35. Ashwin is 36. Akshar, in his 12 test matches that he has played, has scored, I would say, 500 odd runs with 50 wickets under his kitty. So, probably the next all rounder in making.
Definitely. There's no question about it.
Yeah, he's a perfect clone to Jadeja. I mean, the perfect like replacement that India can have. So
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
yes, and he has more number of years of cricket left under him. Hopefully,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's yet to touch 30 and at least 5 to 6
yeah.
years under his belt. So,
And there's one more player I think who wasn't picked for BGT, but I would love to see more of him in Indian Test, and that's Sundar, who can be a possible viable replacement of Ashwin
yes.
too.
Now, Ashwin and Jadeja probably in their last stages of the career, I would say. Jadeja is almost 35. Ashwin is 36. Akshar, in his 12 test matches that he has played, has scored, I would say, 500 odd runs with 50 wickets under SKT. So probably the next all-rounder in making.
Just before we move to the white ball segment, that is ODIs, which is but I just would like to throw some light on the overall World Test Championship. I mean, what is your opinion? How about this 2 months gap between the last series of the World Test Championship league matches, so to say, and now there is a 2 month gap for the final to happen? That wouldn't that put off the fans just in terms of the continuity of it?
Yeah, the scheduling is certainly challenging, and I would say only a one-off final is also a question mark. I mean, you come into a final winning all the test matches, and just on a bad day
Yeah.
you lose one match and you lose the finals. My suggestion would be, I'm not sure anybody would listen to it or not, but the finals of WTC should be a set of 3 test matches, best of 3,
that should also
and
be a series in itself. Yeah.
actually, yeah, just one match in alien conditions for both the teams. I mean, come on,
And
you
what's
you
this
get
with
used.
England? Why England is hosting a final every time? It's
Uh,
Yeah,
nonsense.
probably next time England would be in the finals and it won't be in England.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
mind playing in England as long as India is playing.
I
I
mean,
don't care about the
they could
venue.
have taken the leaf out of IPL book. Play the final where the champion has. I mean, where whosoever has been the champion. If New Zealand was the champion, play the final in New Zealand.
Yes, yes.
Something of that. I mean, cannot always go to England.
It
I don't
is
think it will. This is just the second year.
exactly, that's
So
what I'm telling. This is just
yeah,
the second edition of the WTC finals, and probably the organizers, ICC, they themselves are, I mean, understanding how the format is accepted worldwide, and whether the teams overall are happy with it, not happy with it. So yeah,
But few couple of things I would definitely be happy to see as a fan and as a fan, as of course as a fan and a viewer. One is to give marriage to home and away.
yeah,
I mean,
definitely
there must be that aspect.
has to be there.
Uh, and the second is I'm also personally not very happy with this percentage thing, because let's say Sri Lanka played 11 or 12 test matches, and to get 50-60% out of a 12 test match versus when you're playing a 20 test match in a year, that's a whole different proposition. And since the bilaterals, I guess, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but bilaterals are decided by boards. So tomorrow a board can have only 2 or 3 series, and they can easily climb up to 60-70 points and reach to the finals without playing tough teams in the tournament. So I
Yeah, I
think
mean
that
also
also
the
needs to be factored in somewhere.
yeah, and also the opposition should be factored. I mean, if you're playing if India is playing a team
Yeah,
that ranks 8 or 9 versus a team that ranks second, there's definitely going to be difference in the difficulty they
absolutely.
are playing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah,
I
So
maybe a few
agree that
things for them to take care.
to the
the
BCCI, we
bilaterals
want
are
these changes.
the bilaterals are decided by the two nations between whom the series is hosted. But the FTP, the ICC FTP, this all bilateral series also go through. I mean, they are put in the ICC FTP.
Yeah.
So, if at all we say that
Yeah,
WTC, when we consider WTC, I would say all the test series is whether they are decided by the two cricket playing nations, they are approved by ICC, and that's
yeah,
the
but do
way.
they have a, yeah, fair enough. But I mean, just since you are saying this, I mean, do they have some sort of merit on minimum number of tests the team will play during the ICC WTC cycle?
See, the first 2 cycles, I would say, were probably dominated by COVID, the pandemic,
Yeah, fair
and
enough.
and
Yeah,
that's the
yeah, true.
reason the percentage thing has come into picture. That's the basic reason, I would say, because most of in the first edition we saw that the many countries did not travel due to the pandemic, and some series got uh, postponed or say cancelled due to this, and that was the reason they went on to the percentage of test matches won or played.
Wow. Thank you, Sanket, for that wonderful insight. So, Bhumit, where are we going now?
Oh, we are going to the white ball now. Colored dress, white ball. I loved the result of first ODI.
Back
And
to the Blues.
then the second ODI came around, and you see a bridge in the background. I thought of jumping off that one when I saw the scorecard, but terrible performance. First shock came when I saw Australian scorecard in the first ODI. When I switched off the TV, they were cruising along, and then suddenly I see 188 all out, and I was like, what is happening? And then second came when I saw the Indian scorecard 117 all out. I don't know if batting first is really that difficult now in ODI, or they've just lost the, the touch of how an ODI should be played.
I have a stat here, not to display, but just to mention. This is the third time in last 10 ODIs, India were around 50 for 5. There was one match against Bangladesh, which Rahul rescued India during the chase. Even in the chase of 188, we were struggling. Again, it was
Even
Rahul.
there, Rahul who rescued.
I am wondering, I am saying, I'm praising Rahul here. So anyway, so
yeah,
it's
not only you, Venkatesh
there.
Prasad also praised.
So the colors have changed on the ground also and in the thoughts also.
Yes, it's quite clearly evident.
And this third, when India batted first, I think it was India's biggest defeat while batting first.
Yes.
So I hope it is not true that our top orders red ball form has transpired into white ball.
No. Now
so that's a great concern in a World Cup year.
It's clearly evident that the Indian batters are struggling against the left arm seamer, and Starc, the destroyer in chief, has it took 5 wickets yesterday and 4 wickets in the first ODI. And see, we are clearly struggling against the pace and swing with which he bowls, and I don't think we have any answer to.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. Even I was thinking on this. There was a time we had 4 good left arm seamers, and our batsmen were adept at playing them because of they used to get regular practice in nets. But now we don't. There's just no left arm seamer in the picture right now. No, I don't know if they are even using any net bowlers who are left arm seamers. So maybe that is something that even when they practice at home, they do nets. That's something that should be taken into consideration probably. I know, of course, the quality of Starc and others is way different. But in past few years, we have been facing these issues against left-armers.
Bhumit, they do get bowlers of all varieties in the nets, be it left arm pace, left arm spin, orthodox, off spinner, right arm pace, everything. Point is, how well are you adapting to this scenario where the pace of 145 plus and at the same time swinging conditions, whether you are able to face Starc for that matter, and see, we clearly struggled. I mean, not only Shubman Gill, who has been in the brilliant of the form that he has been, he's seen struggling. Virat Kohli. Now again, there is one more curious case of Surya Kumar Yadav.
Yeah,
I knew this would come up.
A king in T20 is found struggling in ODIs. Look at the scores that he has given in the last around 10 ODIs. I mean, Sanju Samson would be wondering, what wrong am I doing? That I mean, the selectors are not preferring me.
Yeah, definitely. He deserves a chance to fail as well. Yeah.
Well, he's had his chances, but yeah, he can get few more chances for sure.
Yeah.
Now again, there is one more curious case of Surya Kumar Yadav.
Yeah,
I knew this would come up.
A king in T20 is found struggling in ODIs. Look at the scores that he has given in the last around 10 ODIs.
Yeah.
I mean, Sanju Samson would be wondering, what wrong am I doing? That I mean, the selectors are not preferring me.
Yeah, definitely. He deserves a chance to fail as well. Yeah.
Well, he's had his chances, but yeah, he can get few more chances for sure.
Yeah.
Now, again, there is one more curious case of Surya Kumar Yadav.
Yeah.
I knew this
Right.
would come up.
A king in T20. Now that World Cup per se probably is in October, November this year. I don't see
Yeah.
the more
Yeah.
series that we are playing, especially when ODIs is concerned. Probably 2 months of IPL, then we'll be having WTC finals, and then some series probably. But
We are playing somewhere around 15 ODIs post this series, around 12 to 15 ODIs.
Before
okay,
the World Cup?
okay.
Yeah, before the World Cup.
Okay.
That would be quite a few matches, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
But
then we'll
Yeah,
see a
but
lot
yes,
of chopping and changing there.
but the
I
question is
would.
whether Samson is in the fold of BCCI selectors.
Yeah, I mean, yes, and also is a 12-15 match, even if he plays all the games from now on, is that enough for a player to cement his place and play a World Cup like event? I think for last couple of World Cups, we are making this mistake where we are not settled. Even in a World Cup year, our playing 11 is not settled. I think that's bizarre. And it's just criminal. I mean, in 2000, it's starting from 2019 World Cup where we were number 4 position and that three-dimensional player, and somewhere Shankar came in.
Yes.
So
yes.
not having a clear playing 11 is bizarre to say the least. I don't know what's your take on that.
Maybe it's just an outcome of plenty of players who have been available for us and who have been doing it well at different roles and in different conditions. And then this theory of also, we started having a different captain and leading ODI and then T20. And now what happens is Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, everyone comes back when it's World Cup, okay? And when they come back, there are definitely few players who will have to make place for them. And then the others who have been doing well at times tend to get dropped because of the other big names that are in the team, who, irrespective of whether they do well or not, they stay in the team.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, I get your point. But I mean, the objective should be to have a clear playing 11, and that is the role of the team management.
That is true, but when can that happen? When Kohli, Sharma, they play regularly in all the tournaments and
no,
all the
I'll give you an
formats.
example. So let's take example. Let's take a leaf out of what happened in 2010-11. If I remember, from 2010 to 2011 pre-World Cup, Tendulkar played very few matches of ODI. very few ODIs he played from 2010 to 2011. But the management was very clear that ultimately Tendulkar was to play the World Cup. So they were only
here also the management is very clear.
Yeah.
Rohit and Kohli will be playing, irrespective.
Yeah, but that's then you cannot be playing with too many openers. Then you can only have one player here and there. Where we had Gambhir and Kohli who are being played at number 3, Gambhir would open or play at number 3. That was the only change being played around. Here you have few matches. You have Ishan Kishan opening and then Shubman Gill opening, who are anyways not going to be there. I mean, definitely Ishan Kishan was never going to be there. It is now only because Rishabh Pant is injured. Probably he is even considered for a percentage. But I still doubt if he's going to play when KL Rahul is going to keep wickets.
All right, so we just have 10 minutes remaining now. But to wrap this World Cup thing up and draw a parallel with 2011 World Cup, I think we can only win this World Cup if Virat Kohli is going to retire after it. The way Sachin. All right, so we just have 10 minutes remaining now. But to wrap this World Cup thing up and draw a parallel with 2011 World Cup, I think we can only win this World Cup if Virat Kohli is going to retire. The way Sachin. All right,
Yes.
so we just have 10 minutes remaining now, but to wrap this World Cup thing up and draw a parallel with 2011 World Cup, I think we can only win this World Cup if Virat Kohli is going to retire after it, the way Sachin did. All right,
Yes.
so we just have 10 minutes remaining now, but to wrap this World Cup thing up and draw a parallel with 2011 World Cup, I think we can only win this World Cup if Virat Kohli is going to retire after it, the way Sachin did. All right,
Yes.
so we just have 10 minutes remaining now, but to wrap this World Cup thing up and draw a parallel with 2011 World Cup, I think we can only win this World Cup if Virat Kohli is going to retire after it. What are your take on the third ODI? What are your what do you think will win?
We are going to
We
win.
will discuss. Yeah,
Will
yeah.
win? Yeah, we have to
We
win.
generally don't lose the bilaterals. Generally, I mean,
Yeah.
but then if at all the deal was that we'll win the test and you can keep the ODIs, you never know.
Who's the deal maker here?
What do you mean? What do you mean by what the deal was? Come
I
on.
don't think we can discuss any further on that. That's a wrap
No,
from
no,
our
we don't
side.
want to discuss.
No. I think it stays where it should, and I think we
But
will end this
but I
episode
would
on
be
a
happy
happy
to
note.
see India lose the series. I'd be happy to lose India bilateral series because that could be the shock or the shot in the arm that the team requires.
We had to have a
It just could
controversy
be the
before the episode ended. What are your take on the third ODI? What are your what do you think will win?
We are going to
we
win.
will discuss.
Will
Yeah,
win?
yeah.
Yeah, we have to
We
win.
generally don't lose the bilaterals. Generally, I mean,
Yeah.
but then if at all the deal was that we'll win the test and you can keep the ODIs, you never know.
Who's the deal maker here?
What do you mean?
All right, I think
Because,
that's
yeah.
all from our end. Thanks a lot, Bhavik bhai. Thanks a lot, Sanket bhai, for joining in on this another episode. It was a fun episode. I think we covered a lot of cricket and a lot of fun banter too here. And hoping we win the third ODI against Australia, and Bhavik bhai is proven wrong by Team India. And till we meet again, it's goodbye from all of us. But before that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We would love to see you watch all our videos, and that's why we are making this stuff. So that's it from our side.
And
Thanks a lot, everyone, and keep playing cricket and keep watching cricket. Bye bye.
thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
All right, I think
Because,
that's
yeah.
all from our end. Thanks a lot, Bhavik bhai. Thanks a lot, Sanket bhai, for joining in on this another episode. It was a fun episode. I think we covered a lot of cricket and a lot of fun banter too here. And hoping we win the third ODI against Australia, and Bhavik bhai is proven wrong by Team India. And till we meet again, it's goodbye from all of us. But before that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We would love to see you watch all our videos, and that's why we are making this stuff. So that's it from our side.
And
Thanks a lot, everyone.